Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live. 0099, almost 100. So, since it's almost 100, hashtag vendetta. You're going to see why in this episode. It's vendetta. Anyways, it's almost 100. So, tomorrow, uh, I'm going to have Brian. Hopefully, Brian will be available. I'm sure he's going to be available since he suggested that we have a special 100th episode and that I invite as many guests as I can. So we can go have a little 100th episode party maybe. I'm hopeful that Ken will be there as well, and maybe Hiroja and a few other people. We'll see if they have time. Doesn't quite matter to me. It was suggested by Brian, and so I don't mind having that little bit of fun and pleasure in doing this. So let's go on with the show here. Let's see what's in the notes section, something I'm going to talk about. And for you who just want to watch 10 minutes of it, I'll just go over it real quick. And it's also in the notes section, so you can check it out. Let me see here. In this episode here, can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview by CrushTheStreet. Now, in that interview, I did say something very interesting. I said the only thing that can replace Bitcoin is Bitcoin. So is that happening right now? Is there a flippening or some kind of flippening or an attempted flippening? Well, let's see. I got a show for you today. I'll go over. Let me go on to the notes section, and that way you have an idea what's going on. Collecting your free Bitcoin gold coins with Coinomi. That's a direct link to Coinomi support, directions on how to get your free Bitcoin gold. Now, last time I checked, I think Bitcoin gold was like at $400. So we'll go over that today in the show. I have a link to Bitcoin gold. So if you want to know what's going on, I believe Monday, their mainnet should go live. And so you should be able to use your Bitcoin gold. I highly recommend for you not to use your Bitcoin gold unless, well, people on the exchanges are already buying in. Anyways, don't be in a rush. Let people test it out for you and find the bugs. I'm sure there's probably some bugs. This thing is not always perfect the first time, but it is going live Monday, the 13th. And I have my usual other links from the previous episodes. Bitcoin Silver, It's Time to Stop meme. Love that meme. Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Uranium. All these potential hard forks in the future that are all vying to be the #1 spot to be known as Bitcoin eventually. Just go on to the Bitcoin Talk forums. You'll see how all the scam coins get started. Also in the note section is a list of airdrops, because I know there's people out there who love getting free money falling from the sky. The SegWit Charts is also in the note section. I haven't checked it. I'll probably go over it. I'll go over it. I'll go over it. I want to see if there's been an increase or decrease, because there's a lot happening today. A lot of if you have noticed, Bitcoin Cash is pumping really hard. So is Bitcoin Gold, and then Bitcoin is dumping. What's going on? Let's find out. In the note section is also CoinCodex. If you're tired of looking at the BitConnect banner ads on CoinMarketCap, CoinCodex Really good platform, really good listing platform. Another one is LivecoinWatch. And both of these, you'll notice they don't list BitConnect because BitConnect is a Ponzi. Another one is CoinGecko. They won't list BitConnect either because BitConnect is a Ponzi. What I like about CoinGecko is they give you a percentage of developers' involvement, like an index, and a community involvement. And so you get an idea of the community overall and the developers and their involvement. And I think that's important to look at other than the coin market cap. You know, the total market cap of that particular coin and the value. Because you'll be surprised how much these coins have value and there's barely any development and barely any community behind it. It's just people speculating. Or how I should say, people trying to take your Bitcoin. Now, which Bitcoin? I'm not sure at this point. Oh, goodness. I have a new link. It's called bitinfocharts.com. That's what I'm going to be displaying today to give you an idea of what's going on with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Something's going on there. I'll even, you know, look at Dash as well, because I'm going to be talking about Dash a little bit. And then here we go. We're going to get to the meat of the video today. Bitcoin Cash Hashrate historical chart for 6 months. That's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to use bitinfocharts.com. We're going to look at the hash rate and figure out what is going on. Why is there so many unconfirmed transactions in the mempool? We'll take a look at it. There's also a link in this article here. It's called SegWit 2x is still go. Complete wealth transfer from legacy Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash in progress. And that's what you're seeing today. It's a blog, I believe. I'll go over that. And we're going to go over the death spiral. I've talked about this before. Next, underneath that is the 700 million stuck in 115,000 unconfirmed Bitcoin transactions. I'll go over that article. I'm not sure how true that number is because blockchain.info seems to exaggerate that number compared to tradeblock.com. Right now, I think it's over at almost to 100, not 115. But we'll go over that today in the show. Let me see. What else do I have here? Okay, so this is the part about Dash. As Bitcoin rejects 2 megabyte blocks, Dash prepares to implement them. So Dash, the digital cash that barely anybody uses for transactional purposes, or barely anybody uses as digital cash, wants to implement a 2 megabyte block size increase. Interesting. We'll find out. We'll take a look at their hash rate and their transaction history, and we'll see if they really need it. Is this just a fad? Let's all upgrade to 2 megabytes. You know, let's all hard fork off the main chain and create these essentially forked chains. Crazy year. All right, and underneath that, I have Bitcoin 2x. I'm not going to go over this during the show, but I have them in the notes section. Bitcoin 2x from bitcoin2x.org. And I put that in there because some of it's related to what I'm talking about today. Mysterious group BitPico threatens to execute the Bitcoin hard fork. That's an article. I'll leave that in there. Also, the mailing list where BitPico replies to the cancellation of the SegWit 2x hard fork. And then, of course, I got the typical articles about BitConnect. If you don't know it's a Ponzi by now, then you're the last person to get involved into BitConnect and most likely will never see your money ever again. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Another one is notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. Another one is what is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? And just to make sure you're sure that you know that BitConnect is a Ponzi, and if you're going to put money into it, and you know you're not going to get your money out, I just want to make sure you know before you put your money into it. I have a video here called James Bond Bitcoin Live 0017, where I talked to 3 BitConnectors, 3 people who are involved in BitConnect, and they seem to think that the whole world is a Ponzi, like McDonald's is a Ponzi. The stock market's a Ponzi. Some of it is, kind of. Social Security is a Ponzi. Your grocery store is a Ponzi. So, BitConnect being a Ponzi, at least I make money off of it, so I'm okay. And then Crypto Blood was in there, and he was just a regular person. He had no involvement in BitConnect, and obviously he could see it's a Ponzi. I don't know why these other people don't know that. Okay, so also in the notes section, I usually have a link to a video or a music video. I did something a little bit different today. I do have a link to a video. It's called V for Vendetta, Ending Fight Scene. I'm sure you'll see that it's related to my meme here. Also, in the note section underneath that, I have another video just to give you an idea of how ridiculous BitConnect is, to the point where everybody is laughing at all you BitConnectors. Even the altcoin people are making fun of BitConnect. Okay, the altcoin traders, the shitcoin traders, are making fun of BitConnect. I have a link that takes you to the 52-minute and 10-second mark, where they literally start making fun of BitConnect. Okay, so even the shitcoin traders know that. Let me see if I'm okay. I'm streaming live. Just even they know. Okay, even they know that BitConnect is a Ponzi. Okay, even they know. They won't even trade it, or well, maybe they will. They're making fun of BitConnect. I know that much. So there's a link to them. I do watch their show. It's called what's it called? It's called Shitcoin Talk, episode 40. 40 years of Shitcoin Talk. That's just the title. Anyways, why do I watch them? I kind of watch them to get an idea of just the different altcoins out there, and just to hear them talk. It's kind of hilarious, and the way they do their chart analysis. Put it this way: if you see a YouTuber using Coinomi, all right, they may be an altcoin trader. This is how you know when you're an altcoin trader. It's kind of like a redneck joke, How do you know if you're a redneck? Well, how do you know if you're an altcoin trader? Or I should say, how do you know if you're a shitcoin trader? Well, do you use Coinomi? Then you might be a shitcoin trader. So there you go on that. And then I have the link to hashtag yes2x67, what you're looking at now. There's a link to that. And then I also have a link to the Bitcoin pot of gold. Pot of gold. I have the address to the pot of gold. It's a SegWit address. Pot of gold donational address. If you want to participate, please donate. That's a way of participating. But you can also try to figure out the passcode to the encrypted private key. Or in my previous episodes, I've given away 4 clues to the 24-word recovery seed. I've given away the clue to the first 4 words. Just go back to the previous episodes and try to figure them out. And then if you go to the GitHub, I think they have a list of 2,000 words that are used in generating the recovery seed, the mnemonic recovery seed, okay? So you can go to that or do some research yourself. All right, and then I have links to other people's YouTube channels: Heroja Shive Space Odyssey Network, Skive, Yes for Motivation, Bitcoin and Coffee, and the 21 Million Club. Please go to their channel, subscribe to them, watch their videos, leave comments, like their videos, all that good stuff. So let's check out who's all in the chat. My goodness, there's quite a bit of few people chatting away. So Brian's in the chat. All right. XQBJQ Bro. Welcome. And then Marty, how you doing, Marty? Good to see you. I just want to let you know, Marty, your transaction is still unconfirmed. We'll be going over that. And thanks for your donations. And then Dual Over Cadness, thank you. I'm sure you'll like the meme. I'm sure you'll like the video as well, as I put in the note section, because that's where this quote comes from. And then Surgency, good to see you. And then Scott Ellis, how are you? Well, you know, BitConnect is not such an obvious Ponzi for the big connectors. It's not an obvious Ponzi to them. And then Michael Davis, good to see you. All right, so let's go over the meme today right here. Thank you for being in the chat. Please have fun, enjoy yourselves. There's no restrictions. You can go crazy. So the meme is, why don't you die? Why don't you die? Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Greedy. And ideas are bulletproof. So that's the ending of that video that I have in the notes section. I think it's very fitting for this episode. And I'll go over the reason why. Obviously, there has been a plan to kill Bitcoin. And I think that plan is being implemented. I think in some ways it was very ingenious. I could see the mind of Jihan and Roger and maybe some of the other people involved who always wanted a block size increase and maybe perhaps didn't like the core development team in the process. So if you think about what happened, all right, we all have been played. We all have been played, everybody. Think about what happened. The hard fork of Bitcoin Cash was a preemptive strike. All right. Jihan wanted to have the cake and eat it too. So before SegWit gets implemented, hard fork into Bcash, right? Get everybody to dump their Bcash. Wonderful idea. Then play out the SegWit 2x. Let everybody think they've won, which I'm telling you, everybody really thought they won. I mean, we were all suckered in somehow, weren't we? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Did you sell your Bcash? If you sold your Bcash, you were suckered in. Because now you're seeing the pump of Bcash and the dump of Bitcoin. If you had your Bcash right now, you would have been able to re-extract that wealth back into Bitcoin. But because you already sold it, now you can't do anything right now. You're just taking the hit. And plus the hashing rate has decreased as well. There's a potential for a death spiral. That's the scary part. And not only that, okay, there was an option for Jihan and Roger and everybody else. SegWit 2x was the option. All right, it was the option. It was the bait and the option. So they had it both. They could play it both ways. If Bitcoin Cash pumped, they would have implemented SegWit 2x. All right, but because Bitcash dumped, and there was an expectation of Bitcoin Cash, I mean, SegWit 2x to also be done, you saw the Bitcoin price being pumped, which I think that's what they wanted you to do, pump that price so they could dump and put it back into Bitcoin Cash eventually. That's my theory right now anyway. And that's what I'm going with. So anyways, let's go on with the rest of the show here. All right. Hey, there we go. Bitcoin pot of gold here. The QR code in the arrow is the donation address to the Bitcoin pot of gold. The QR code on the right is the encrypted private key. Yeah, if you can, please donate. I think we got up to $40. Now we're underneath $40, which kind of sucks. But if we can get up to the current value, what's in that wallet, to $50, I'll give you the 5th clue to the 24-word recovery seed, to the 5th word. And so as we go along, every increments of $10, whatever the value of that wallet is worth at that time, I need to go up to $50 to give the 5th clue. I'll give out a clue to the recovery seed. Or you can try to figure out the passcode on the right-hand side in that QR code, and then try to sweep everything right now. So good luck to you. And of course, the QR code on the bottom, that is a link to Yellow Fever for You. He gave me the idea, so go check out his channel. All right, so let's see what's here. Okay, so I want to show you this because, well, all right, I refreshed it. It is the donational address to the pot of gold. It is a SegWit address. You can see it's gone down in value. Last time I checked, it was around 42. Now it's 36. That's all right. But Matt Wilkinson donated at the time. Let's see, what was it at the time? It was $8.28. That was almost 2.5 days ago, and he put in a 9,000 Satoshi transaction fee. It's still unconfirmed, but that's all right, because if you know how to use your wallet, or if you have a wallet that allows you to send unconfirmed transactions, and somebody else will accept it, that's fine. Or you have a wallet sender, you can still send unconfirmed transactions. So how bad is it? Well, the mempool will get filled if you just keep sending unconfirmed transactions to each other until they eventually get confirmed, or until a miner sees all the transactions and maybe do a parent pays for child, where the last person may want to send a large fee on their transaction of an unconfirmed transaction, and that will confirm all the unconfirmed transactions, because the miner will have to pull all those transactions into the next block in order to receive that fee. So how bad is it? It could be pretty bad, but in the same light, if you know anything about, if you have a wallet that allows you to send unconfirmed transactions, it's not that bad, especially if you're sending to yourself or sending to someone you know. It kind of gets pulled anyway. If you do like 10 unconfirmed transactions and they all have a decent size fee in it, a miner will eventually pull that transaction into the block to receive all of those fees and turn them into a confirmed transaction. So technically, I can take an unconfirmed transaction like this and send it to the next person, and have that next person sends it to the next person, until somebody, in that transaction puts a high enough fee to get it into the next block. It will pull all the unconfirmed transactions to be confirmed. So you could just pass the cost on to someone else, technically, I guess. All right. Thank you, Matt Wilkinson. And anybody else who wants to donate, there you go. There's the QR code, and there's the address. Did I mention it was a SegWit address? I think I did. All right, so here we go. Here's what we're going to talk about today. This is Bitcoin and the blockchain. There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. This is a blog And today's blog, starting Saturday, November 11th, which hopefully still is today. This is SegWit 2x is still go. Complete wealth transfer from legacy Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash in progress. And I have to say, there might be some truth to this article. So it talks about SegWit, and then it talks about the unexpected thing that happened when SegWit 2x was canceled, right? What happened and why did they cancel? Well, he has a little chart here. I'm going to click on it, see if it opens up. Okay, so here's the reason why this author mentions why SegWit has been canceled. All right. Now, I think obviously the SegWit was, I'm not sure. I haven't been watching the hash rate. I've been watching the difficulty rate, but I'm not sure how accurate this graph is. But obviously, the red line you're seeing here, this red line up here, here, and here, and here, is the difficulty that adjust every 2000, about 2016 blocks. So about every 2 weeks, it's going up. And then I think the green, the blue, and these other lines here represent the hashing rate. And so you see it kind of coincide. The difficulty should always stay a little bit above the hashing rate, it looks like. And you see that here, here, and here. And then as the difficulty starts climbing, right before a little bit November, he's showing it as the hashing rate starting to decline right here. Now, I think this graph is a little bit off and perhaps a little misleading, because if you look at the rest of it, there's more information. But he's saying that the difficulty gone up and the hashing rate going down was the reason why SegWit 2x was canceled. All right, so let me unclick that. I think this graph is just a little bit misleading, but I'll get back to this a little bit later. So you see he's talking about, or she, I'm not sure, I'm just, well, let me see. There's no author to the name. So anyways, the author has a list of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and the total hash rate. And you're seeing oscillate back and forth. Now, Bitcoin Cash is going to do a hard fork, I believe, tomorrow. Wait a minute. I think Bitcoin Cash is live today, isn't it? I think, yeah, Bitcoin Cash is, I mean, not Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold is live today. I apologize. Bitcoin Gold is live today. They should have a mainnet. But anyways, let me get to Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is having hard fork tomorrow, and they're going to adjust their difficulty. And so now, the weird thing is in this article, okay, it talks about the death spiral. All right. So he mentions it right here he mentions the SegWit 2x. He believes that SegWit 2x will still go through because he mentions the article, which is in the notes section, by the way, of BitPico. And he quotes BitPico saying, we are carrying out the hard fork. We are carrying out the fork regardless, as everything is set in motion. Backing down the difficulty right now is a strategy. Wonder why 30% network hash rate disappeared? It's ours, the miners, that will continue what is set in motion. A handful of humans cannot stop what they have no control over. So he gets into this thing where he does believe that the SegWit 2x will happen. And he gets into a whole scenario of where possibly Bitcoin Cash will get 30%, SegWit 2x will get 40%, and then SegWit will get 30%. And I'm not sure if this is real. It's worth talking about because we're seeing some we're seeing some effects of hard fork splits. We're seeing hash rate starting to separate onto the chain that the miners want to, or at least they're following the money to mine on. All right. So he talks about the death chain spiral. All right. And anyways, he gets down here at the very end, at this end of in this paragraph. Now there's more to it, but I'm just going to stop here. You can just go ahead and read it to yourself, and you can kind of see what's going on. When the rogue miner, or when the rogue miners are sure that SegWit 1x, regular Bitcoin 1x, is no longer viable, or if SegWit 2x hard fork off the network, they will abandon the SegWit 2x chain as well as and move over to Bitcoin Cash. By then, even Ampool cannot save the day. Both the SegWit chains will be dead. Only one chain will be left. Bitcoin Cash equals Bitcoin. Now, this is interesting because a couple of days ago, I did have some people in the live chat tell me or hint at me about this happening. And you see different articles coming about and people starting to theorize it. This could be FUD. This could be a way to generate scare tactic or social engineering, you name it. But let's talk about it. So in the article, this person is saying that the SegWit 2x will happen, causing basically almost a third, 30% hash rate on each chain. Now, Bitcoin Cash is still on EDA, emergency difficulty adjustment. And so if it does happen, it's possible they can kind of survive. They already got 30% hashing power right now, I would assume, or they got at least a higher hashing power to stabilize their difficulty. Bitcoin, however, is right about receiving their adjustment right about now. And so if this third hard fork comes in, this third chain, it's possible that it can cause a death chain spiral with Bitcoin, and then SegWit 2x would just be abandoned and then joined into Bitcoin Cash, and then therefore Bitcoin Cash would become Bitcoin. Let's test that theory out a little bit. So here is BitInfo Charts. I'm able to find a chart that will let me see. This chart is, what is it, 3 months? Let's go to 6 months so like we could see where it starts. Okay, so this is the hash rate for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin is in blue, and you can see it's been trending upwards. And then Bitcoin Cash is just all over the place with their emergency difficulty adjustment. But I want you to look at the far right and see what's happening right here at the very end. You can see that if you look here, you can see the hashing rate. Blue is Bitcoin, and then red is Bitcoin Cash. And you can see right here, that's today, right? Here's my cursor, I'm right there at the end. And you can see they're not that far away. They're almost very close. So hashing rate has moved over to Bitcoin Cash. We can see that. It's a fact. It's a fact right now. So now that we know that the hashing rate has moved over to Bitcoin Cash, and it makes sense because the price of Bitcoin Cash is up. Okay. Now, looking at this, let's have a look at the difficulty real quick. All right, so the difficulty is gone up for Bitcoin. the blue line here represents a Bitcoin right here, and then the red one is Bitcoin Cash. And you can see ever since it's forked off, it's had a high difficulty and has been readjusting and had these spikes every now and then, these emergency difficulty spikes, but very flat overall, very flat. Not even the terahash yet, just in the gigahash. Now, they're still in the gigahash, but their hashing has gone up tremendously. Their hashing rate has gone up tremendously. Bitcoin right now has just took a difficulty adjustment down. And so it's obviously affecting the difficulty enough to have that difficulty adjust down. That's why we have so many transactions in the mempool, I believe anyway. And also somebody might be spamming the network. Well, you know, DD 8209, I know they have electricity bills to pay, but if they just dumped all their Bitcoin recently, I think they have enough to pay their electricity bills for the next two weeks, right? And so they may even have enough money, because the Bitcoin was such at a high price that it was, it was a planned dump. It might have been a planned dump, or it's dumping now. It's still at a high price right now. Bitcoin's still at a high price. That they may have dumped all their coins, and they basically are using that money to survive until Bitcoin Cash can essentially come close to what Bitcoin is now. Bitcoin Cash is in second place, I believe, on the CoinMarketCap. It's overtaken Ethereum. So this is serious. This is real. This is very real. So that's the difficulty right there. And so if you look at that, it's obvious that this is a coordinated attack. Let's go back to the hash rate. So you can see the hash rate, and you can see it right here at the very end that they're almost crossing. It's very close. There has been a drop-off on Bitcoin Cash. I'm sorry, there has been a drop-off on Bitcoin. Their hash rate has decreased, and then Bitcoin Cash has increased in the hash rate. So there might be something to what he's saying. But let's take a look at the transactions. All right. Now I'm going to actually go, this is a 6 months. This is 6 months. So the range in Bitcoin transaction is anywhere from, let's say, 100, 150, to 200 to 350 transactions. All right. Now look at Bitcoin Cash. It's barely moved up to 50,000 transactions. It's barely moved up. Let me see here. Right here. So the hashing rate has moved over, but the transactions, not quite there yet. Not even close. So obviously, again, manipulation going on. And if you look overall, let's have a look at 1 year, or you'll see that there's still a lot of people still on Bitcoin. They haven't moved over. So have people moved over to Bitcoin Cash? It doesn't look like it. I think they took a little bump. If you look right here at the bottom, Bitcoin Cash took a little bump, but that's about it. They have to do a lot more than that. So there's not that many users. If anything, there's probably more speculators on the exchange than actual users. Matter of fact, if I go into the lifetime, it's a different picture. Totally different picture. Although Bitcoin has flattened out a little bit, But to say Bitcoin Cash in 6 months will take over, I'm not too sure. I think they have a lot of work ahead of them. They have to have merchant adoption. They have to have a lot more users. They don't even have a peer-to-peer market. So this may not be very realistic. I think it's more propaganda, more social engineering, in my opinion. All right. We could take a look at the price. Let's take a look at the price right now. Let's go 6 months. So there is some kind of trend here where it's being inverse, but you could see that it's nowhere near. It's got a long ways to go. It has a very long way to go. So they have a long way. They got a lot of money to pump into Bitcoin Cash, but I'm not worried because I still have my Bitcoin Cash because I never really split them from my Bitcoin. So any money that's gone up in value on Bitcoin Cash that was taken from Bitcoin, my hard fork portfolio, my Bitcoin hard fork portfolio. God, try to say that 3 times real fast. My Bitcoin hard fork portfolio, the value of it hasn't really changed. It's probably the same, if anything. But the price of Bitcoin has obviously changed, and the price of Bitcoin Cash has changed. So if you never really split your coins, this is really a non-event for you. The value of that wallet, if you had Bitcoin at the time of the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, it's the same value. If you add Bitcoin Gold, it's even worth more. We'll go over Bitcoin Gold here in a little bit. So not that much different. Let's see. Let me just check out mining profitability, and then we'll move on real quick. All right, so here's where you're seeing the biggest difference. And obviously, it has something to do with the price. So if you see right here, Bitcoin Cash mining profitability is almost twice as much. It's at a 2.19, almost at 2.2. Bitcoin mining profitability is at 1.2. So it's almost double the amount right now to mine Bitcoin Cash. And that's why you're seeing the hashing rate migrate over. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last. That's something to watch out for. Looking at this chart, it looks like the algorithm was tracking Bitcoin very closely. It has this wild up and down swings, but only recently, which happens to be the day before they hard fork into their new algorithm for their difficulty algorithm. They're hard forking tomorrow for their new difficulty algorithm, and it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when they do hard fork. And the other thing is, this is a slight chance, but maybe people are investing into Bitcoin Cash because they're hoping for a split in Bitcoin Cash because it's hard forking tomorrow. That may be another hope. It seems like anybody who has a potential chance of hard forking may have a potential chance of splitting, and they may get extra free money. So, but right now, that's the reason why everybody's mining on Bitcoin Cash. When it readjusts, I think they'll start dumping their coins, and then we'll see where they go. But as you can see from this article, if the plan is to kill Bitcoin, right, and then have a surprise implementation of hard forking from BitPico, right? So if the SegWit 2x is still on, you could see how this could be very, very damaging. It's like a 1-2 punch to the blockchain, to the Bitcoin blockchain, and potentially you could have a death spiral, possibly. Let me see here. Let me go on to this real quick. Let me see, Bitcoin 2x. Right. So if you remember Bitcoin 2x, this is what they said. We are a group that plan to continue with the Bitcoin 2x fork. Following the community feedback, we will now explore different replay protection addition to the fork to avoid network instability. Stay tuned when Moon. I don't know. Maybe it is a joke. Maybe it's not. But if you read this and think about what's been happening, SegWit 2x may be just a way to kill off the legacy chain. So basically, it's meant to kill off both Bitcoin legacy chain and the SegWit 2x chain, going into a death spiral. And then that's the end of that. And then everyone would have to move on to Bitcoin Cash. So there may be there's some game theory going on still. There's a fight going on, that's for sure. Let's go on to the next thing here. Okay. All right. As Bitcoin rejects 2 megabyte blocks, Dash prepares to implement them. This is absolutely hilarious, and I think everyone's getting into. Everyone wants attention. Everybody needs attention. Every coin wants your attention, and every coin wants you to give up your Bitcoin in exchange for their coin. And so Dash is implementing 2 megabyte blocks. Now, if I use this tool and let's add Dash to mining profitability, I just want to see where they are. What I love bit info charts because you can get different things here. So they're not in here. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, transactions. That's what I wanted to look at. All right, so I'm gonna have to zoom in, literally. I'm gonna have to zoom in. All right, let's get rid of Bitcoin Cash to give you an idea. All right, okay, so now these are transactions, I'm assuming, that are in the blockchain that have been confirmed. So if you look at Dash, Dash is that red line on the bottom. And then the blue line is Bitcoin. That's how many transactions are in a block as of today, confirmed, I'm assuming. But if you look at it overall, it's very low. Okay, now when I add Bitcoin Cash, look at where, now the blue is Bitcoin. The blue is Bitcoin. The red is Bitcoin Cash. And Dash is orange. Now, if you look at this chart, it's only 3 months, but Bitcoin Cash hasn't been around that long. I just zoomed into three months so you can all have a better idea and take a and see it for yourself. That Dash and Bitcoin Cash, almost for most of its life, had about the same amount of transactions. Only in the last month or so has it been creeping up. And so I'll give you an idea. If I hover my mouse, you can see the transactions here up on the upper left side. So right here, you can see the transactions right here. So let's go here. So this is today. So Dash transaction, 7,000 transactions. All right. Bitcoin Cash, okay, they're decent. They're getting at 56,000 transactions on a pump. On a pump, all right? This is being pumped. Or it could be just two big whales moving their coins back and forth. That's possible. Miners just moving things around. Miners spamming their own network. I mean, we've seen that on the Bitcoin network. And then look at Bitcoin at 194,000 transactions in the block. That's how many blocks. I'm assuming that's blocks. That's not even the mempool. And so why Dash needs to implement 2 megabyte blocks, I have no idea. They definitely don't need it. Again, I think it's a marketing ploy. And you'll probably see other chains all of a sudden hard forking. And while they're hard forking, they'll also split. And then they'll split, right? They'll get a classic or whatever, or the legacy chain, and they'll get a little 2 megabyte chain. This is what you're going to see now. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, so I want to share that with you on this. There's a link to the article. Go ahead and read it. All right, so in this article here, 7 million transaction, or $7 million worth, $700 million worth stuck in 115,000 unconfirmed Bitcoin transactions. Well, I know one of them from my treasure hunt wallets, or the Bitcoin pot of gold. And so this is this is a little misleading, but I'll get into it a little bit. Yes, there is transactions, a lot of transactions not in the mempool. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Blockchain. Nope, what's going on here? Okay, where is it? That link's not working. Let me see if I click on it. Okay, I need to click on it. Sorry about that. Nope, it's still not working. It has a broken link. What do you know? All right, so if the blockchain info, it shows unconfirmed transactions of 115, which it does, but for some reason, if you go to tradeblock.com, it gives out a different number. And I don't know why blockchain.info always has a higher number of unconfirmed transactions. Let's see what it is. So right now, unconfirmed transaction is 80,000 in the mempool. It's peaked out maybe at close to 90,000 transactions in the mempool. So there's always a larger amount on blockchain.info. So it's a little misleading. And as you can see right here, at the time this was written, this is a picture of tradeblock.com, and you can see there's only 73,000 transactions in the mempool. So, but yes, there is a lot of transactions in the mempool. We'll also go over. There was also a tweet here by Peter Todd. Seems like he's saying cool down with overselling SegWit to reduce transaction or speed up transaction. So I thought that was interesting. Is Bitcoin under attack? I do believe it is. I do believe that is being under attack right now. And so you can see the fees here from Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. The fees thing, I think that's a little misleading, because Bitcoin fees are obviously going to be higher because the price is higher. And then Bitcoin Cash fees are going to be cheaper because the price is lower. I would try to compare Satoshi per bytes versus Satoshi per bytes. Although I think it's still going to be higher for Bitcoin because it's being spammed. And so let me go into bitcoinfees.com here. So let me take a look here. What's going on here? Eventually, I'll go over the CoinCodex and LivecoinWatch. I'll go over the charts of the listing platforms. I'll go over CoinGecko as well. Use a little bit of different listing platforms. So let's go over the fees first. So fees are very high. And then I'll go over the mempool one more time, and then chart analysis. You want to know block times? Let me see what the average block time is. All right, so there's a Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so let me see here. There's a block size, difficulty hash rate. There's no block times here. There's only block size. Or I'm sorry, here it is, block time. And I'm doing for Dash and Bitcoin. And okay, so let's see what is current right here. So Bitcoin block time is 18 minutes. Bitcoin Cash block time right now, today, is 1.9 minutes. Dash block time is 2.61 minutes. So obviously, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and Dash have quicker block times. They're about the same. Bitcoin block time right now is 18 minutes. Typically, it should be 10 minutes. Obviously, it's going to readjust. And then you're going to see that readjust back to 10 minutes, lowering the difficulty. And when that happens, obviously, the miners are going to move back to Bitcoin because it's going to be profitable. And they're just going to move back and forth. That's all they're going to do. So yeah, that's a good point, Olaf. The block time and the difficulty is much easier. Let me take out Dash here, and we'll take a look at the difficulty. Obviously, the block times are going to be higher for Bitcoin right now because the hashing has moved over. But I had another theory that it's cheaper to mine and more worth it to mine on Bcash because you can take older mining rigs, right? Because look at the difficulty right now. You could take older mining rigs, or you could take all your old mining rigs and mine Bcash. And on top of that, you could use your ASIC boost as well on Bcash, if ASIC boost was the real thing. So of course, Bcash would probably get more hashing power because you could probably dust off your old mining rigs because this difficulty is so low. All your old mining rigs would work, and you can probably start mining on Bcash. So this could be a little skewed in favor for Bcash. Let's have a look at that hash rate one more time as well. Yeah, so you see the hashing rate, and yeah, I mean, could you imagine all those old miners that you couldn't use with SegWit on the SegWit blockchain? Now they're basically usable again with Bitcoin Cash. So everybody's dragging out their old miners that are basically unusable on SegWit blockchain. They're mining Bitcoin Cash blocks using ASIC boost, mining at a minute, 2 minutes. So it's being manipulated. It's definitely being pumped. That's for sure. So let's take a look at this. So, all right, let me go on to, where was I? Okay, I was back on the fees. Let's get back on the fees here. So a lot of people are still using Bitcoin. Like I've had people come to me and they're giving me their old addresses, right? They're giving me the same address to send Bitcoin to. I know because I do keep track. I recognize their address. And so they're not giving me a Bitcoin Cash address, or they're not coming to me and saying, hey, I need some Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold. People are still coming to me and they're not mentioning anything else. They're just saying, hey, I need X amount of dollars in Bitcoin. And I'm assuming they're talking about the legacy chain because that's all well, that's not all I have, but that's what I usually have to offer. And they give me the same address. So as far as regular people, they don't know. The people who actually use Bitcoin, they're still using Bitcoin. And so here's the wow, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so the cheapest and fastest transaction fee is 720 satoshis per byte. That's 162,720 satoshis in the transaction fee for a 226 byte transaction. Look at this. This is crazy. Here it is on the green. The bulk of the transaction seems like they start, your fee is 281 to 320 satoshis per byte, to anywhere from, I guess I'll take it to where right before the green here, to 680 is the medium. If you want it the cheapest on the next block, it's 720 satoshis per byte, which is, wow, a lot. The lowest fee, 1 to 40 satoshi, all the way to 320 will, or let me see, 280 to 140 satoshis to 280 satoshis. You're probably going to have to wait to infinity according to this chart here, or this bar chart. And so yeah, a lot of transactions. I hate to see what the mempool. Well, I've already seen it, but we'll just go on to the mempool right now. Hello, Richie Rich. Good to see you. Also, it's me, Boss Lady. Welcome. And client Shizbig, or Shizig. Good to see you. I didn't see you come in. Sorry, I was just talking a lot. Well, I haven't even gotten to the coin market cap or CoinCodex, or I'm going to use I'll use LivecoinWatch. I like that one. I haven't even gone to the LivecoinWatch yet to check out the prices. I've got to see what's going on with that. What is going on with this here? Every time it does that, it takes a while. Sorry for the silence. I'm just waiting for this thing. But you can see right here the transaction fees that people are putting in. Some people are putting in 1,000 satoshis per byte for a transaction fee. You're seeing 400, 2,000 satoshis per byte, 700 satoshis per byte, 400, 700. So yeah, things are getting desperate. It almost seems like when they made their announcement, when they canceled SegWit 2x, I noticed how they mentioned when the fees get outrageous, right? When the fees get outrageous, that's when we'll do SegWit 2x. All right. When you come back begging to have a larger block size, that's when we'll come back and we'll do SegWit 2x. So it almost seems like they were threatening to do this. Well, this is going on forever. Oh well. Anyways, I think it was 80,000 transactions in the mempool. There we go. Okay, yeah, 80,000 transactions in the mempool. The blocks are full though, but they're less than 1 meg blocks. You know, SegWit was implemented, but none of these blocks are over 1 meg at all. Look, none of these blocks are over 1 meg. There's no empty blocks because probably all the ASIC boost mining machines are on Bitcoin Cash. So you're not going to see empty blocks anymore. I guess not. I hope not at 80,000 transactions in the mempool. And you can see right here, it's really started pumping as the mempool gets filled. Bitcoin Cash is pumping. So is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I think this is intentional. So, all right, let's go to LivecoinWatch real quick. We'll check out the market cap here. Oh, sorry for the bright screen. Oh, that looks $5,800. The good news is 5,800 is probably on the weekly. That's where it's reaching the short-term moving average. So, wow. So if you look here, I'm going to try to zoom in. Let me see. Well, there's no point in zooming in. 7-day, it's a 22% decline. 24 hours is a 13% decline. And 1 hour, just in 1 hour, it's a 5% decline for Bitcoin. And the price is at $5,800. I'll do a chart analysis, but I'm just going on the coin list watch, LivecoinWatch.com here. Bcash, it's almost $2,000. 7 days, in 7 days, right here, it's literally gone 210%. 210%. 24 hours, it's 102%, and the last hour, 13%. So if you all listened to Tone Vase and sold your Bitcoin Cash on the very first day, well, you should stop listening to Tone Vase. Okay. This was, you were all conned. Okay, you were all played for the most part. You know, if you know what's going on, or you think, I think this is obviously a ploy to get everybody, all the Bitcoiners, the hardcore Bitcoiners that followed Core, that when the Bitcoin Cash split, for you to give up your Bitcoin Cash on the very first day, which a lot of people did. And then SegWit was just a ploy. It was the insurance. Once they called it off, all right, they moved the hashing power over. They dumped on the coin. They dumped on Bitcoin. So they extracted as much value as they could. Hey, dual overhead cabinets. Yeah, 22 live viewers. Awesome. Thank you, 22 live viewers. That's like the most natural live viewers I've ever had without a guest. Thank you very much. So SegWit 2x was insurance, and when they canceled it, they moved. They obviously that's when they dumped on Bitcoin price at the highest price to extract the most values they can, pumped it into Bitcoin Cash, moved the hashing rate over. Obviously, you saw the let me see here. You saw this right here. You see this. So the hashing rate is almost there. It's almost crossing. They're almost meeting. And once that happens, maybe, just maybe. Oh, I moved it over. Let me see here. I'll change it to Bitcoin.org. So just maybe you're going to get this. You're going to get this happen, separating more hashing power again. And at 30%, even though the difficulty did drop, you're looking at 30-minute blocks. Now we're at 18-minute blocks. Now you're going to be doubling that. This is going to be tough. And SegWit 2x is nothing more than a way to kill the legacy chain and to kill itself so everyone can move on to Bitcoin Cash, supposedly, if you believe in this blog that is written, which seems like it may be coming true. It may be. Will it? I'm not sure. Let me go to the meme here. Why don't you die? Why don't you die? With a question, right? Question mark. Because obviously Bitcoin's still around. Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Greedy. And ideas are bulletproof. Anyways, let's take a quick look at SegWit 2x futures. You know what? I don't think. No, they don't have SegWit 2x futures. Let's go to just Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin Gold is worth. All right, so Bitcoin Cash was pumping. Look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash for the 7-day period is 186%. In the last 24 hours, it's moved 42%. In the last hour, it's dropped a little bit by 2%, 2.66%. But look at the price of Bitcoin Cash. I'm sorry, not Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold is now $409. Let's just click on Bitcoin Gold just real quick. And they're supposed to go live today. Wow. Look at that. They peaked out at 451. They peaked out at 451. The current price is 409. And you can see, let's see where they're trading here. Well, only on Bitfinex, apparently. Only on Bitfinex. I don't know why hit BTC and Craptopia are X'd out for some reason. So it looks like on Bitfinex is where they're trading Bitcoin Gold, according to this anyway. Let's go on to, let's go back. All right, let me check out Bitcoin Cash real quick, just on this listing site. the SegWit 2x futures. We'll see where that's going. Oh, you can't find the link to the meme video? Let me see here. It should be in the notes section. Let me click on it real quick, see if it is. If it's not, I'm going to have to update it. It's underneath James Bond Bitcoin Live. It's V for Vendetta. Let me see. Let me click on that. Yeah, it goes to it. All right. So here is Bitcoin Cash, and wow, that thing's on a tear. Let's have a look at it right now. BitThumb has most of the volume. Looks like BitThumb has most of the volume here. After that, it's Bitphoenix, and then Coin1, which is also a Korean exchange. Bitphoenix again for Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin. Looks like a lot of the volume is coming from fiat currency into Bitcoin Cash. So it looks like people are pumping it with money. That's for sure. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is up a lot indeed. Wow. Let me see. Corbit, OK, Exchange, OKEX, Kraken, Hitbit, SexIO, Wex, which I guess used to be formerly called BTCE, Quadraga CX, and then Craptopia. So they're getting some good exposure. That's at least that's where it's getting its price from. I'm sure there's a lot more. I'm sure there's a lot more. Interesting. Okay, so let me check on the futures. I have to go to CoinCodex. I'm not using CoinMarketCap because I know I'm going to see a BitConnect banner that I'm really sick and tired of looking at. Oh yeah, dual overhead camness. Dual overhead camness. You sent a link on the previous yesterday of Craig Grant. He lost $150,000 worth of BitConnect. It's hard for me to believe that he got hacked. It just doesn't make sense. You got to be really stupid to get hacked from your own wallet like that. And the way it moves around, it doesn't make sense. Just moving from one address to another address. I've seen the video. I think, if anything, he didn't get hacked. He just made this video, so it looks like he lost his coins. I think he hacked himself so he can avoid paying capital gains tax by saying I was hacked. That's my theory, because it just doesn't make sense. The whole way he's presenting it, and how would you get hacked? And the way he's explaining it, it just doesn't make sense. I really think most likely he hacked himself and make it look like he was hacked so he could claim losses, and then later on, of course, recover the money from BitConnect, which is kind of sad because, and here's why I think he hacked himself, because no hacker would want to hack BitConnect tokens. All right, let's get real. I don't think there's a hacker on Earth that wants to hack BitConnect tokens. If they do, they would have exchanged it for Bitcoin right away, since there is no platform for BitConnect other than bitconnect.com or bitconnect.net or bitconnect.io. I don't know what it is now. They have to lend they have to lend their BitConnect to get Bitcoin. You know, it's not really worth it for a hacker to do that, in my opinion. It just doesn't make sense. So it's you know, it's Craig Grant. I mean, I take everything he says and just say, I would just think the opposite. He didn't get hacked. He hacked himself. You know, that's my opinion. But thank you for the video. That is on yesterday's James Bond live stream, hash number 0098. Hashtag, I think what I put it, aftermath. So check Dual Overhead's Camness. He has a link to the video. Go check it out. Tell me what you think. Did he hack himself, or did he really get hacked? I think he hacked himself, because no hacker would want to hack BitConnect tokens. So, all right, let's go on to SegWit here. SegWit futures. Okay, SegWit futures. Ooh, it took a dump. Well, it's good to know that SegWit futures are SegWit 2x futures are also taking a dump. It was at 1.4, almost $500, but it's slipping. Let's see what the day is. Yeah, it's slipping. So if we use price as an indicator, this price would tell me that SegWit 2x is not happening. It's dead. It's a goner. So that's that. Let's do a chart analysis on Bitcoin now. I'm sorry, you're right, dual overhead. 0099 is the video. James Bond Live 0099. Hashtag aftermath. That's the video in which Dual Overhead Camness left a comment linked to Craig Grant's video of him trying to explain that he was hacked when really he was hacked himself. Let me see where. Right, let's take a look at what's going on. Man, this is getting brutal. All right, so let's use some lines here. Let me utilize some lines. All right, so ouch, I'm on the 1 week and it did hit the short-term trend line right here, the short-term average line. It's a weighted average. I think it's 10 period. We'll see if that's a good support. So where is it now? About 58. So right around there. The average did move downwards. I think last time, yesterday was about 6,000. So if you did have a limit or market order there, I think you're okay. And so if you made a limit order or a market order there or a limit order, I think it's a good deal, especially if you sold anywhere around 7,000 or 68,000 or 66,000. You're getting more Bitcoin. So is the bull market coming? I'm not too sure. I haven't. There's no confirmation yet, because what I'm seeing is I'm still seeing an uptrend here. If this is right here, if this is the highest low, then I'm going to watch out if it goes below this price, if this is the highest low. I don't know yet. Should be over by tomorrow. So we have one more day for this candlestick to finalize. And if that is the lowest low right there, then, or the highest low, we have to see if it breaks that highest low. And if it does, you might want to watch out for here. That's another support area. Other than that, here's another support area. So you got some support areas to put some market orders or limit orders. This one looks like around 5,000, very close to 5,000. Right here, you got 5,000, and right here you got 3,000. A strategy that you could employ, and I've used it many times when I traded on an exchange, is put small amounts of market orders at whatever intervals, every $100, every $10, every $5, every $50, all the way down to 3,000. So depending on the situation. So that way you always get a piece of the action, because you never know when the price is going to stop or how low it's going to go. So you're essentially your average costing. So every $50, maybe between these two lines right here. Since it's small, you could put every $10 and get 1 Bitcoin. So, or I'm sorry, 0.1 Bitcoin. Try to buy 0.1 Bitcoins intervals of $10. Eventually, you'll get 1 Bitcoin. And the bigger spacing here, use every $50, every $100, every $200, get 0.1 Bitcoin. Put a market order for 0.1 Bitcoin, and that way you can average it. And like I said, you don't know when the price is going to stop going down. But at least when you average it that way, when you space it out, you can get some piece of the action. And you can say you bought, that one market order where it did stop at the very bottom. You got the lowest price on that. I guess you can say that if you want to brag about it, but you never know. Then again, you could do whatever you want. Some people just put all their eggs in at 5,000. Half at 5,000, and then or 30% of whatever they have at 5,000, and then 3,000. Some people do that. I don't know. Have fun with it. It's yours. I'm just throwing some ideas out there that I did, and it seemed to work. I didn't. What sucks is you set a limit down here. This is what I made this mistake a lot. Like I was thinking I can always get to the bottom. I want the cheapest price, and I'll put all my market orders at 3,000. Well, it drops all the way to 3,001, but it doesn't go to 3,000, or it drops to like 3,010, and then that's the lowest it goes, and then the price like rockets and shoots up from there, and my market order never got hit. That really sucks. Even though you were right about the call, you're almost right about the call, you're right about the direction, but because you never your order never got fulfilled, you missed out on the trade. It really sucked. I hated that. Oh goodness. All right, so now that I established some support lines here, let's go to 1 hour and let's have a look here. Okay. Wow, it just started dumping right now. Like that. All right, I'm all right with that. So cheap Bitcoins, if this is a bear market, by tomorrow, that should be that it's either gonna make a lower price, or that is the lower price right now. I suspect it's gonna be around there. If it breaks lower, we'll have to see. But you need 2 consecutive lower lows on a long-term chart. Let me back up to the 12-hour. All right, so wow, not bad. That's actually where I thought we might end up, right around here, right around 58. Because check this out. I'm not sure if it's on the daily or on the 3-day. Okay, this is on the 1-day. When I look at the 1-day, if I took out all the lines, I'm not going to take out all the lines. I already put them in there. But on the 1-day, the price has pulled back, but I don't see a downtrend. Okay, I don't see a downtrend. It's actually still trending up. So it's still bullish, believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe, but we do have to take into consideration like price movements. So, okay, so here we go. So if it does break down, on the 3-day, and I do think the 3-day is probably the most accurate of all the charts as far as timing and the averages. It really matches up really well. If I pull back, you could see the average line and the price and the candlestick move really well with each other, both on the short term average, moving average, and the longer term. I think that's 20 or 25 period moving average, and then this is a 10 period moving average. So if you look at where this line is and the average, that's probably the next support if it breaks below where it is now. What I'm thinking. 3-day chart on Bitstamp, on Bitcoin Wisdom, is probably the chart you want to be watching or looking at. That's just my opinion on it. With the price going down and how BitConnect is really correlated with the price of Bitcoin, if the price of Bitcoin goes down, BitConnect is going to shutter. I'm pretty sure about it. It's not the other way around. If BitConnect shutters, Bitcoin's going to die. I think Bitcoin's being attacked is essentially an attack on BitConnect, and BitConnect's getting hurt. I know they are. They're gonna, if the price goes down on Bitcoin, BitConnect is probably gonna shut down. I can't see, everything predicated on the price of Bitcoin going up because they're, fiat currency value on their platform. If the price of Bitcoin goes down, I mean, how are they going to do these payouts? Their whole thing depended on Bitcoin going up. It's crazy. I agree with you, Michael Davis. All right, so there's that. And let me go to the 1 week. And that's kind of where we are on the 1 week. The 1 week essentially hit term moving average, the 10 period moving average. So the other part, the other line, and I didn't put it in here, is 4,000, about 4,000. That's probably perhaps another stop, another support area that I didn't put on here. But that could be another area as well. So perhaps another market order if you're into buying Bitcoin. Selling Bitcoin right now, you probably should have sold, at the top, 7,500, 78, 88, somewhere around there. Question is now, when do you buy back in? Well, these are some areas that you might want to consider, and I would consider these area. And again, if your strategy is to get more Bitcoin, this is a good way to do it. You know, if you're trading. When am I going to buy back in? I'm probably not going to wait. I'm going to wait until I actually get a confirmed downtrend. There's no reason for me to buy back in right now. Let me move all the slides. There's no reason for me to buy back in right now because the weekly chart it's still a bullish, it's still uptrending. There's no confirmation of a downtrend. And so, yeah, there's nothing here that is showing me a confirmed downtrend. All right, so the bear market has not quite started just yet, but that red candlestick, it's pretty big. It looks pretty strong. Bitcoin Cash is definitely trying to take over. It's being pumped. Let me go to this one right here. I would also go to Bit Info Charts, and I have a link to it in the notes section. You probably want to keep an eye on the hashing power, on the hashing rate, and see if it crosses. Right, this is where it is right now. So Bitcoin hashing rate is at 6. I don't know if that's 6 petahash or 6 terahash, but whatever, 6E, whatever what E stands for, and then Bitcoin Cash is at 4E or 4.8E. I'm not sure if that's 4 petahash or 4 terahash. Unfortunately, I'm not into mining, but in this particular case, I'm forced to learn about it. So you probably want to watch this to get an idea of how far Bitcoin Cash will pump and how much Bitcoin will be dumped. If the trend continues where the hashing power, the hashing rate of Bitcoin continues to go down, that is cause for concern. And if Bitcoin Cash, their hash rate continues to go up, most likely the price is also going to go up as well. So watch out for this. This is what you should be watching to get an idea of price movement for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, essentially. So, anyways, if anybody has any other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them while you're here. Let me just go back to the meme. Let me turn this off now. And there may be something to this blog. There actually may be something to this blog. Go check it out. This is in the notes section. If there's a surprise, SegWit 2x, which takes away even more hash power from the legacy chain, please consider a death spiral. I did see tweets by Luke Das Jr. talking about a proof of work change. There was also a Medium post written by Cobra, who is a co-founder of Bitcoin.org and BitcoinTalk.org, about proof of work change. I think those are hints or possible hints at what may be coming, possible scenarios that may be coming our way. We have to take everything into consideration. So I haven't done a trade with as of yet. I may have to tell people I can't trade Bitcoin right now because it may be too dangerous to trade Bitcoin right now. The fees would be high. I would have to charge I would have to pass those costs on to the buyer, or if you're selling, if you're the seller, you would have to absorb those costs or pass those on. So on a peer-to-peer level, this is really bad. This is really bad on, for a peer-to-peer trade. You don't want to be in this scenario, but people are still coming to me. They're still coming to me with trades. So anyways, if there's any more questions, and if not, this is probably going to conclude this episode. So I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Roja Shive, Space Odyssey Network, I see you there. Q Bro, thank you for chatting it up. DD8209, thank you as well. Client Shibzig, and Dual Red Camnus. Olaf Halski, Richie Rich, good to see you. And anybody else? And then I don't know how many live viewers I have. 26. Wow, that is a world record for me, all by myself talking. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have a few more guests. We'll celebrate the 100th episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live, and we'll try to have a lively conversation. We'll definitely talk about things that are going on, about Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold. Also do a video. I'll probably do a video here soon about splitting Bitcoin Cash. I'm not splitting Bitcoin Cash, splitting my Bitcoin Gold. And I still won't do anything. I'll just show you how to split them and how to import your recovery seed into Coinomi wallet so you can split your Bitcoin Gold. And also maybe even try to sweep a private key pulling from one of my Bitcoin wallets into and pulling my Bitcoin Gold out of that. So look for that video tomorrow. Hopefully that'll help you out. But I think I'm going to conclude this episode now. So feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment after the live stream, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned.